This Four Nations Faceoff tournament that the NHL is doing is absolutely incredible and must-watch television. Like, it's crazy to me to imagine that there were NHL fans that thought this was going to be a glorified all-star game. Like, this tournament has delivered 110%. It is the closest we've seen to Olympic hockey since the Sochi Olympic Games back in, 2014? Crazy how long it's been since we've seen a best-on-best. And watching Josh Morrissey, one of my favorite players on the Jets, one of my favorite players that I've watched just come up through the system as well, getting international attention and praise with Team Canada, and also with Connor Hellebuck and Kyle Connor on Team USA as well. You just absolutely love to see Winnipeg Jet players, getting international praise because they're so damn good, and especially Josh Morrissey, watching him cement himself as arguably the best defenseman on Team Canada, logging the most ice minutes in that game against the USA on Saturday, just proves how valuable and how underrated he really is in the NHL, and I absolutely love seeing him getting this praise at the highest level you can as an athlete. And what this really brings me to is, if I'm Kevin Cheveldayoff, I am 110% going all in on acquiring Colton Parayko, who is Josh Morrissey's defensive partner in this tournament. It's been linked and rumored that St. Louis could be going in to the deadline as sellers. They've even talked about potentially selling on Falk Parayko. And if they end up doing that, that's the only rumor I can find right now. But if they end up doing that, Chevy should be the first guy in line getting ready to move everything to bring this in, because the chemistry that Josh Morrissey and Parayko are showing at this tournament at the world level is incredible. And Parayko has been, such a good, physical, solid, consistent two-way defenseman with great defensive play, with a good shot, who is, just been there his whole career at St. Louis as a heavy presence. And, we're seeing that this year with this tournament, not to mention the fact he's got a massive contract that's affordable with a great term, especially with the cap going up. So this could be potentially the first pairing for the Winnipeg Jets, for the rest of Josh Morrissey's career potentially with us, if he chooses to, re-up when his long contract's over and all that. But this would solidify our first pairing and the window, to win a cup for a very long time, in my opinion. I think it makes a lot of sense. I think this also answers a lot of questions about the defensive depth on this team as well, because acquiring a legit new number one pairing guy would drop DeMello down. It would just settle things in the bottom six of the defensive pairing. The second and third pairing, it would just be so settled down, and you could finally push Logan Stanley out of the lineup, which is something that we all want to see. You could have DeMello playing with Pionk. I think there would be so much room for improvement in that defensive core with acquiring a guy like Colton Parayko. Now, again, there's no rumors tying the Jets to this. This is just me as a fan looking at some play in a tournament and being like, okay, if this guy really is available, go all in. We've seen Chevy pull out some crazy moves in the past. No one saw the Paul Stastny trade coming back in 2017-18. No one saw that coming. And that, again, was as well with teams that, in our own division. So I can see something like this as unrealistic as it might seem on the surface level. I think that there is a sense of grounded reality in this trade rumor and in this speculation that I have within the Jets fan base, within myself, and within other people watching this tournament. Look at what Parayko was able to do just so far. The physical presence, the fighting, he has been so damn good out there, and he's really meshed in well with Josh Morrissey. And I think, again, when you look at where the Jets are right now, you look at the fact that they are trying to acquire defensive talent going into this, playoff run, I would imagine, and going into the deadline. I think that it's all expected that the Jets are going to try to acquire some real defensive power this year. I know everyone's talking about the 2C like we do every single goddamn year, but I really think that this is the year to focus on the defense, shore things up, really build the best defensive core going into the playoffs. And if you can acquire a guy like Parayko, especially with the chemistry building that we've seen with him and Josh Morrissey in this tournament, not to mention the fact that this guy is a Stanley Cup champion as well, I think that adds so much pedigree to this defensive core, and really would solidify that top pairing, because we know that Dylan DeMello has aged. He's still a good player. He still fits in well with Josh Morrissey, but we've definitely seen him taking some step backs the last couple of years. So maybe dropping him off that first pairing would, be a better role, not only for the top pairing, but also for Dylan DeMello's game and his consistency, going forward in the defensive pairs. It could help Pionk as well. Sandberg has been incredible this year as well, so you never know. Maybe you can move him up and down the lineup. I just think that the prospect of Parayko joining this team, with how good Morrissey's been playing, with how good Parayko's been playing in this tournament, would just elevate the Winnipeg Jets to another level. And considering that, we are looking, like I said, for that real big showpiece this year going into the deadline, not just some rental, not just some decent guy, that we've done in years past, I can tell this year the Jets are trying to find that perfect fit. You can see with the rumors coming out too that Chevy has got so many irons on the stove right now, looking to try to cook something up. You can tell that they're looking for that perfect trade, and I really do think that if Parayko, you were able to make that trade happen with the cap going up, with his contract, with the term, it would solidify that number one pairing for years to come and really solidify the defensive core and its window going forward into the next upcoming seasons. You've got Parayko locked up, you'd have Morrissey locked up, Hellebuck locked up, Scheifele locked up, Kyle Connor still will need a new contract but has got some years left. You have a really good core locked up there if you're able to acquire a guy like this with that term. So as unrealistic as it might seem, I think Kevin Cheveldayoff could make it happen. If there's any GM in the league that could make a trade like this come out of nowhere, it's Kevin Cheveldayoff. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Are you going crazy watching this tournament like I am? Do you absolutely love it? Would you like to see Parayko and the Jets? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, follow me on Twitter, Instagram, check out all the affiliate links down in the description below. Peace and positivity as always. Go Jets go, and I will see you all in the next one very, very soon.
It'll all be over. It'll all be over.